Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today I'm bringing you another one of my stupid video ideas. If you're new here, welcome. I often have stupid video ideas, and I share them on the internet. But you know what? I'm not gonna be on this earth for a long time. So the time that I'm here, I wanna have a silly, goofy, good time. I threw a bunch of character names into this mug, a bunch of characters that I love. Each round, I'm gonna be pulling 3 characters at random, and I'm gonna be deciding which ones I would follow, unfollow, or block on social media. Before we get into it though, today's video has a sponsor, and I also got a haircut since filming this video. Surprise! Today's video is being sponsored by Bookfinity. If you're looking to discover new books that you might love, if you're constantly craving book recommendations, or you're wanting to make sure that you're picking up books that fit your vibe, Bookfinity is the perfect place to find specifically curated book recommendations to fill your reading life. I talked about Bookfinity before, but if you don't know anything about them, let me fill you in. Bookfinity is a platform that helps you discover your reader type and then fills your feed with book recommendations that are specific to your type. You'll go through a series of questions asking you to describe yourself, describe your self-care routine, what your side hustle would be if you were a celebrity. After you answer just a bunch of fun questions about who you are as a person, you will then be given 3 reader types, one that you're most like and then 2 other that you could fall into. We've got types like young at heart, cool mom, cool dad. The day that I get that type is the day that I fully have stepped into ultimate daddy vibes. Jesse the daddy at your service. I'll stop, I promise. We've got lifelong learner, world traveler, amongst many other reader types. It's a great way to learn more about yourself as a reader, and when I took the quiz, which I've taken it twice now, the 2 times that I took it, it just kind of like nailed down where I felt I was at in my life at that time of taking the quiz. It's bizarre. It almost feels like astrology a little bit, but make it books. Bookstrology, if you will. After you take the quiz and you get your reader type, you will then be flooded with book recommendations, which who doesn't want to be flooded with book recommendations? If I'm gonna get any kind of flood, it's gonna be book recs, okay? I was gonna say I would like a book flood, but like, I don't know that that would be that desirable. Like, I don't want to be drowning in books. I just want to like, where am I going with this? I just want to be reading books and living a good life. Reeling it back in now though, it is really nice because the book recommendations are very specific to your reader type, so you're more than likely getting books that you would be interested in. And that's something that I really love about Bookfinity, is that the book recommendations are very intentional. They're not random book recs, they're very specific to who you are and your reader type. I'm gonna leave the Bookfinity quiz down below in the description. Go click that link, take the quiz, and then come back and tell me your reader type down below in the comments. I have a wall of post-it notes where I just keep random ideas that pop into my head, and one that I had on there was characters that I would block on social media, and so I took that idea and decided to expand it a little bit and honestly make it harder for myself, because all the characters in here are characters that I like and not characters that I would want to block or unfollow on social media, but that's what makes it fun. Makes it a little bit of a challenge for myself. So join me in this game of follow, unfollow, or block. Feel free to play along in the comments. Let's get started. First round we've got, whoa, I just flung out so many. Get back in here. This is your home now. You're out of your books and in the mug. First up, we've got Gilda, my favorite messy queen from Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, a book that I read and loved recently. Highly recommend. By the way, while we're at it, let me just drop you a little book recommendation. She is a people pleaser through and through. She's the type of person to go along with things even if she doesn't mean to or doesn't want to. She just like finds herself going along with all the plans. She's always in the hospital for something, and she is constantly thinking about death. My kind of girl. Next character we've got Mr. Kaz Brecker himself from the Grishaverse, the Six of Crows duology. Our main character, Energy Man. He's the ringleader. He's got the plan. The man with the plan. He's a bit on the serious side of things. He likes to be in control, and I'm not gonna lie, he's probably not that fun at parties. But I still love that man. I still stand by that man. He's the man. Would go along with any plan made by this man. And the third character, ooh, okay, we've got Bree from Legendborn. I feel like I haven't talked about this book a lot, but I read it last year and I loved it. It was fantastic. Bit of a dark academia book, but also a bit of a retelling of Arthurian legends. In Legendborn, we see Bree kind of digging deep and unlocking her strength, and she's dealing with a lot. Like, she's got grief on her plate, her mother has passed away, and so she's still kind of dealing with those feelings. But we see Bree time and time again kind of stand up for what she believes in and just kind of put her foot down and be like, this is how I feel, and if you're not okay with that, then goodbye to you. Time for the results. This is hard, as I knew it would be. I'm picking characters that I love, so obviously putting them all up against each other, it's gonna be difficult. difficult. And I might make some shocking moves here. The first shocking move that I'm gonna make, I think I'm going to block Kazbrecker. Listen up though. I don't feel like he'd be the type to want to share his life. He doesn't seem to be the type that would be about that. And I don't know that I would necessarily want his thoughts all over my feed. Like, I love reading about Kaz, but like, I don't know that I would constantly want that in my feed. I feel like I'd be like, okay, brother, time to take a step away from your social media accounts and drop the snark. Keep those thoughts in your head or in your diary, which I don't think Kazbrecker has a diary, but maybe he should invest in one. But again, I don't think he would even touch his social media accounts. So block, you're blocked. I think I would unfollow Bree. Like, I love Bree, but I just think when it comes to Gilda and Bree, I'd rather be following Gilda. So Bree, you've been unfollowed. Gilda, I'm following you, babe. Gilda is a mess and I want to hear about her messiness. Like, I'm here for the drama, I'm here for the madness. Feed my feed, Gilda. She consistently finds herself in these like bizarre situations and I just feel like she would have the best stories to post. So sign me up for that. Please overshare, Gilda. Most times I'm not a fan of oversharing, but like, please, Gilda, share everything. Round 2. We've got Emily from the Lucky List, a book that I feel like is severely underrated and y'all should read ASAP. Emily is dealing with grief. She's not dealing with grief, she's dealing with grief. Emily is dealing with grief throughout the story of the Lucky List. She's doing everything she can to get closer to her mother and just like feel connected to her again because she misses her mom. And we follow her as she completes these things off a bucket list that she found that was made by her mom. And I feel like Emily is the type of person who is down for an adventure, and she's also the type to like continue to work on herself and better herself. She's open to unpacking the things that she is going through, and she's willing to stick out things if she feels like there is potential there. She's going up against Finnick O'Dare, known for being this dreamy, beautiful, stunning man, but he's also got a lot of heart. He's not just stunning on the outside, he's also got a beautiful soul. Speaking of Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney is still a bop to this day, aging like fine wine, baby. Third character for this round, we've got Juliet from These Violent Delights. Our Violent Delights, These Violent Delights? These Violent Delights, Our Violent Ends. That's what it is. I always get those titles mixed up in my head. Juliet is a bit of a firecracker. She's got a strong personality and she's the type that will tell you how it is. She can be ruthless at times. I'm making her sound scary. She's not like a scary person, I promise. She's really fun to follow. Obviously, she's in the mug, which means she is one of my favorite characters. I love and adore Juliet, but she's a bit of a toughie, and I'm here for that. The results. I'm gonna block Juliet. After I sat here just like kind of defending her, being like, she's great, she's still great, she's just tough. I love her, but I feel like her feed would just be like rage, rage, rage. And I don't need that energy in my life. She almost feels a bit similar to Kazbrecker now that I think about it. Like, I feel like they'd get along. She's a little less cutthroat though. Sorry, Juliet, but you've been blocked. A part of me wants to follow Finnick, and I mean, Boy would probably like charm me into following him anyway, but knowing where his story ends up and what happens to him, no spoilers, even though it's been years since The Hunger Games has come out, I will protect y'all. I don't think there's really a point to follow him. Like, I can just check up on his feed whenever I want, right? So, Finnick, you're unfollowed. I love you. Did anybody else ship Finnick and Katniss? Because I was on board with that. It's like I knew that they would never be endgame, but I was rooting for them still, and like every little crumb I got, I was like, oh, yes! And I'm down for following Emily. So Emily, you've been followed. I feel like Emily would fill my feed with sweetness, and that's something that I like look for when I'm following people. I'm like, are you gonna benefit my life in a sweet way? Follow. Round 3. We've got Jem from the Infernal Devices. I always have a hard time saying his name. Like, Jem. Even though he's one of my favorite characters, I still can't pronounce his name correctly. It's Jem. Anyway, before I fall down that rabbit hole and I'm not able to get out, my softy boy who deserves the world. It's gonna be hard for me to unfollow or block him. Let me just say that. Like, he's kind of top tier favorite list. I feel like he's the type of person that I would like insta follow. Immediate. Stop, drop, and follow. We'll see who his competition is though. We've got Ren from the Poppy War. I don't think I should have put unlikable characters that I love in this mug because like I know where that's gonna go. I know where that's gonna lead me, but like I love Ren. You Ren haters just don't understand her, and you need to go back and reread the books to understand her better. She just needs love and a hug and a nap. She can't seem to catch a break throughout the trilogy. Let the girl take a nap. She goes through so much throughout the entire trilogy. She also just has such an interesting life, so she'd be fascinating to follow, but I also feel like she would be the type to kind of fill my feed with snark, and I don't know how I feel about that. Last character, we've got Tessa from Defy the Night. Not me getting Jem and Tessa in the same round. Wrong Tessa though. Tessa is actually a super underrated character. I feel like she's a super selfless character. She's always giving to other people. She believes in her community and wants to do everything she can to protect them, and we see that time and time again in the Defy the Night series, even though there's only 2 books out so far, but like in the first 2 books we see her doing the most for her community, for her people, and she puts herself in these tough situations in order to protect them. The results. I'm sorry, nobody can compete with my boy Jem. Jem. Again, he's an instant follow for me. Does that mean I am complete and utter trash for him? Yes. I want that softie all over my feed. Give me the content, Jem. If there's not videos of you playing violin on my feed, then I'm deleting my account. And now the hard part. I feel like, oh, I'm sorry, Tessa, but I think I have to block Tessa. She's doing great work, but like, I won't miss her from my feed, you know? Block. Rin, on the other hand, I'm gonna want to unfollow, but still be able to go back through and like look at all her stuff and see what's been going on. I can't say spoilers. It's still a fresh trilogy, so no spoilers. But I would like to be able to go back through her post and see the things that went on, the things that went down. Even though she is the type to possibly be Miss Snarky McSnarkerson. Unfollow. Round 4. Kira from Slay. I read Slay earlier this year and I freaking loved it. Kira is a gamer girl. She's a video game developer. And she's also a student working her butt off, doing the dang thing. Next character. Mateo from They Both Die at the End. Our anxious little bean who deserves the world. He's a bit of a loner and lives a bit of a quiet life. He's also just like a sweetheart and doesn't have like a mean bone in his body, which made that book even more sad to read. Last character, Juliet from Shatter Me. Juliet is a very strong character. I feel like I could say that about every character in this video so far, but she's been through a lot, and instead of allowing those situations to weaken her or destroy me, she's been through a lot, and instead of allowing those situations to destroy her or shatter her or unravel her, I'm annoying. She overcomes it and grows through those things. The results. This one is a bit on the hard side. I think I know who I'm gonna follow. I think I would follow Kira because I'm a gamer boy, she's a gamer girl, and I feel like we'd just be mutuals and talk all things gaming. Then we've got the unfollow and the block. I think I'd block Mateo. We all know where his story ends up. If you don't know, then I can't help you. But I feel like even though I adore him and think of him as a sweet human and pure and so wholesome, I think I'd more so want to keep tabs on Juliet and see what's going on there because she's got lots of things going on, you know? I think she lives a pretty interesting life. So, Mateo, you've been blocked. Juliet, I'm gonna unfollow you, but I will keep tabs on you, sis. I'm imagining her typing out all her posts with the strike-through format. Sounds about right. I think we're on round 5. We've got Percy from the Percy Jackson series. Oh, it's gonna be hard to beat Percy. It's gonna be so hard. The charisma, the wit, the entertainment. I wish Rick Riordan would just like open up a social media account for Percy Jackson and post as if Percy was actually running the account. Like, please, give it to me, Rick. Next character. We got Triss from Divergent. I love Triss. I miss Triss. I've honestly been thinking about rereading the Divergent trilogy recently, even though, you know, things didn't end so great. I've just been feeling nostalgic lately and I want to read a bunch of nostalgic things. Triss is brave, smart, selfless, and strong. She's Divergent. Boom! Last character for this round, we've got, oh my god, Jacob from Miss Peregrine's. Gosh dang it. Jacob against Percy. I'm stressed. Jacob is a curious boy. He's peculiar. He lives a pretty mundane life at the start, but things go in a much more adventurous direction, and through that time we see him grow and become such a different person. He's very open-minded, and for the most part, I feel like we're a lot alike. Like, I relate a lot to Jacob. The results. We know who I'm blocking. I'm sorry, Triss, but block. And knowing where your story ends up, bye-bye. Now, the real hard part is who do I want to follow and who do I want to unfollow? Mind you, unfollowing somebody doesn't mean you can't ever see their feed. Like, you can go and creep on them. The thing is here is that I feel like following somebody just like shows your loyalty to that person. Unfollowing obviously doesn't show your loyalty, so it's really not that big of a deal. I know this is just a stupid game, but like, it feels real to me. I love Jacob so much, and I feel like, again, we're alike in so many ways. So part of me is like, I don't want to be following him because it would be like following myself. I don't need to do that. And yet I feel like unfollowing him feels like a sin. Like, he's my boy. The Peculiar Trilogy is my lifeline. I feel like I'm cutting off my lifeline right now, but I have to unfollow Jacob. Unfollow. My heart. And I'm keeping my feed fun and interesting and chaotic by following Percy Jackson. I gotta keep all his madness up in my feed. I feel guilty, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, this is a stupid game, and I always make it so serious and so real. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? I'm losing track of the rounds, but I think we're on round 6. I think that's right. First character, Evelyn Hugo. Queen Evelyn Hugo. She's a fascinating character with lots of depth. I can't say she's perfect. She is far from perfect. She's got a lot of flaws, and we see that throughout the story. She's lived a long and interesting life, but she's kept a lot of things under wraps. She's an actress, and she's very good at her job. Next character, we've got Daisy from Daisy Daisy Jones and the Six. Double Taylor Jenkins Reid's in this round. The girlies are going to be fighting it out. Daisy is a singer, she's a songwriter, she's been through a lot, she's been used and abused. She's able to stand her ground and just be kind of like unapologetically herself, which I love. Last character in this round, Addie from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Addie made a deal with the devil in order to live forever, but the catch is every person she ever comes in contact with will forget her. Because of the fact that she is now immortal, she's able to experience this like very interesting life. She's able to travel the world and have all these fascinating experiences. And so that makes her like a really interesting character, but she also can be a bit numb at times because of the fact that like everybody forgets her. So like, obviously that puts you in a sucky situation. So obviously that messes with your brain a little bit, having everybody ever forget you. Like that sounds like a nightmare. The results. I actually think this round is going to be kind of easy. I know who I'm going to block right away. I'm blocking Evelyn. Blocked. One, I'm really not that into celebrity culture. I definitely was at one point in my life, but like, I'm just over it now. Like, I'm not interested in anything to do with celebrities. Like, I love watching movies. I love watching TV every now and then. And like, I respect actors and actresses and singers, but I'm just not that interested in like their lives outside of the art that they create. Because not to sound like cliche or anything, but celebrities are just like us. They're just rich and have lots of money. I feel like I sound like such a snob being like, I'm not into celebrity culture. So sorry if I come off as snobby, it's not my intent. Anyway, back to Evelyn, back to the person we're talking about. I feel like she'd be the type to not share much on social media. Like, she would only share the projects that she has coming up and not share that much about her life. In the book, she's very secretive about her life until this tell-all situation. So bye, Evelyn. I think it'd be really interesting to follow Addie, but the thing is, every time I would see her in my feed, I would never remember her because of the curse. So it'd be so weird constantly forgetting who she is, but because of the fact that she lives like such an adventurous life, she gets to travel the world, she's seen so many things, I'd want to follow her. I'd want to follow her adventures. And if I unfollowed her, I wouldn't remember her, so I wouldn't be able to keep tabs on her by going and checking up on her feed. Follow for Addie, unfollow for Daisy, but I definitely check Daisy's feed every now and then just to see if she dropped any new music or anything like that. Round 7. Simon from Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I feel like I'm pretty similar to Simon in a lot of ways. He's not as much of a mess as I am, but he's a sweetheart. Not me saying I'm like Simon and then being like, he's a sweetheart, he's a goody two-shoes. He's so sweet and so kind and a heartthrob. He's nerdy and he's great. We love Simon in this house. Next up, we've got Yadriel from Cemetery Boys. Yadriel is all about working to be their true self, which I admire a lot. And they summon a ghost in the book Cemetery Boys, which I think is super fun and super interesting. 10 out of 10 would summon a ghost. Last character for this round, we've got Sky from the Sky Blues by Robbie Couch, an underrated book. It's lighthearted and sweet, but also has some hard-hitting topics. Sky is also on the path to being his true self. He's gay and lives in a small town and kind of feels the need to like make himself feel small and invisible, but he's working on being more open and out there and not making himself feel so small. The results. This is actually kind of a hard round. I think I know who I would follow. I think I would follow Yadriel, Sky, Simon, Sky, Simon. I'd honestly love to follow all three, but I'm going to unfollow Simon, yet keep tabs on him. I feel bad blocking Sky. He doesn't deserve it, did nothing wrong, but block it is. I'm sorry, Sky. Final round. We've got my girl Isabel Lightwood, Izzy. She's a baddie. She's fierce. She also has this very warm and charismatic side as well. We love Izzy. I'm a Izzy ride or die. Next, got my girl Katniss from the Hunger Games. Our tough bow and arrow fighting for the people, lead the revolution, slay girl Katniss Everdeen. That was a beautiful way to describe her. And finally, we've got Parspell Thorne. That's such a random character. I forgot I put him in here. He's from the Cinder series. If I remember correctly, it has been a long time since I've read the Cinder series, but I obviously loved Thorne. He's one of my favorites. I believe he can kind of come off as like a little bit standoffish and he's sarcastic. I just remember he had like a lot of great lines in Cress. The results. I think I'd probably follow Isabel Lightwood because I just can't imagine not following her. I adore her and I want to see her all up in my feed at all times. I'm back and forth on the blocking and unfollowing. The thing here is that I think I'd want to keep tabs on Katniss and just like see what she's up to. But like I also want to see what Thorne is up to, but like do I care as much about Thorne as I care about Katniss? I don't think so. So I'm gonna block Thorne and I'm gonna keep tabs on Miss Katniss by just unfollowing her. That is it for the follow, unfollow, or block game. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Now I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. I want you to pick 3 of your top favorite characters and I want you to follow, unfollow, or block them. Let me know your results in the comments down below. Or if you want to make your own video with this concept, I say run with it, go for it, do the dang thing. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo!